Hey y'all, I just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of the Efficient Analyst Journal. So this is the landing page. This is where you'll arrive when you open it up, and you'll see front and center we've got some databases that we're working with. Artifacts of price and setups are the top ones, open playbook as well. And so artifacts of price is just a place for you to organize your data and your screenshots about specific nuances of price. That can be anything that's relevant to you. These are some examples. And it's just an area, instead of having like a folder on your desktop with a bunch of screenshots, you can keep that data here, and then you can do the same with your setups. And then for the playbook, you'll notice there's a field artifact and setups. So if you have a new trade, you can click, you can link your artifact, you could click, you could link your setup, and then if you clicked in, so let's say fair value, you clicked into fair value, you'll notice that here there's a table with all the trades that have fair value as part of them. And then below, there'll be stats specifically aggregated and filtered just to show you how that artifact or that setup is performing. If we scroll down a little bit, we'll come into the reflections. This is just any of those aha moments, any moments of growth, any mistakes that you've made, or any general reflections. You can add them here and they'll populate in your daily and weekly reviews. Or if they're trade related, you can also link them to your playbook. Here we have notes, pretty self-explanatory, just anything. Again, if you do it on the day or on the week, it'll auto-populate into your daily and weekly review. And then study sessions is just for, anything you're studying, back testing, mentorship videos, group studies, anything like that. We have the trade stats section, which is just going to be all the important statistics for trading. Win, loss, break even, P&L, RR, and P&L graphs, ways to filter through the P&L graphs, average loss, average win, and average loss and win through setup. We have a much more in-depth version of that here at the trade stats page. There'll be another video for that, but we have everything about trade management and general trade performance here. We've got emotion rules and metrics, so just a count of emotion rules and some P&L metrics for that. We've got P&L and RR for the strategies, and P&L and RR for the artifacts, and then some more time, day, direction dependent metrics. And those are going to be for daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. As we head back to the top of the page, we'll go to the other part of the journal that's going to be really the wheelhouse, and that's going to be the write-ups. So every day you'll come to the front page, you'll hit new daily write-up, you'll click this button, and it'll take you here. And there'll be a new one every day. And when you're done with it, you can hit complete. And then you have access to all of those databases that we spoke about earlier here. You can add an entry to the reflections, to the playbook, to the notes, or to the artifact, or you can open those databases in the side peek over here just to see them. And then here, this is aggregate for the week. You can have, this is all about like trade management. Am I making mistakes or am I following my rules? You could be taking stops, but they're part of your rules, so that's totally fine. Or you could have like general mistakes and emotions coming out. So the idea obviously is like more green than red. The same is true over here for the rules followed and broken. We just want to make sure as traders that we're following our rules. We're not letting our emotions get in the way, and we want a way to hold ourselves accountable. It'd be hard to do that if you don't have data, but now you do. There's data here. Below that, we have the pre-market process. This is what I start with every day. I open up this, I look here real quick, and then I plug right into this. The news auto-populates, and then I start my workflow. I go look at the charts, figure out what my bias is, how's the daily, the hourly, and the M5 looking, what's my plan. And once I've got all that aggregated in front of mind, I'll close this down, and then I'll bring out the build outs. And so the build outs is just a place, this is like the main working hub. So the session 1, session 2, maybe you had a screenshot and this was related to fair value. Well, if you wanted to, you could take this screenshot, you could copy it real quick. You could open your artifacts here, open up fair value, plug down here to the bottom, and input that chart right here. We'll do it again, just for good luck. Boom. And now, that's there. It's stored. Throw this to the side. Good. And then you don't have to think about it. Or let's say you took a trade. You're working here, whatever, you take a trade, you post a screenshot here, copy this, playbook, you want to trade, okay, well, put the trade in here, and put the data. We spoke about artifacts and setups. Those are two of the things you'll click here. Fair value, setup, trend line retest, you've got that. P&L, risk, this really should only take you 1 to 2 minutes max, maybe 3. If you're thinking about things. And then a lot of this is auto aggregated, you do this and it'll just populate the statistics for you. Here, these are the buttons. It's another way to get into your databases. This is really, I'm here most of the day, just clicking through these buttons and inputting my data here. And it's just a way to keep everything really organized. You're not having to reach for anything. Everything is really easily accessed, and it just really reduced the friction and mental effort of journaling because it's all just right here. You don't have to go anywhere for it. These will be the trades that you took for the day. This is a trade profit and risk calculator. If you need to calculate your risk and your TP, you can input the data here. There's a little workflow here. And then trade stats. This is just the trade stats of the day, how you performed for the day. And so the goal is, to use this data, and to reflect on how you did for the day. And when you're done with the day, you could start a daily review. And that'll take us here. The daily review and the weekly review are both pretty much similar. All you have to do is link your trades. And so you just go here and you link your trade for the day. So we had that other trade, so we'd click that in here. Trades there. And then you've got your stats, your strike rate, your P&L for the day, and some other statistics that are interesting. And then, like I said, you'll have your notes for the day, the reflections for the day, and then all your trade stats. And then here, your losses, your best trades, those will automatically aggregate. And the goal is just to review and be consistent, review on the same things day in, day out, week in, week out, and to allow that to turn us into better traders. And so, once that's done, you come back to the front page, maybe click around through some of your stuff, but just know that, you've done your work. It was easy. The stats are there. The reviews are there. All you have to do is show up, click through, and it's done. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys get value from it. I'd love to hear your feedback. Hit me up on Discord or Telegram or Twitter. And if you're interested in getting the journal, check it out below. Thanks.